Right guys, and we're back to the Coles mobile crane and back to the bane of my life, this circular track around here. I have taken one more link out since you saw it last, so obviously that's made it somewhat tighter and it's holding a fair bit better. But what I'm going to do is just attach a little bit of fine wire to see if I can attach that to make it more secure. I did ask for suggestions and got a couple back on the Rust Bucket forum about tensioners, which I'm sure will be a good idea, but I'm sure it's pretty simple to make a tensioner, but I've never actually done it, and I'm not sure how it will work with this here, given that we've got a really tight shape around it, and I'm not sure there's the space to put a tensioner in, and I'm not sure what it would look like anyway. So attaching a wire to it seemed like a more straightforward thing that's within my capabilities. So here goes. This is aluminium wire that I bought off of Amazon, and I'm just gonna, around a couple of these brackets, I'm just gonna tie some in basically and see if that helps to keep it there. As I say, I have tightened up the chain up anyway, and that does seem to be doing something. But if it's got these tying it in as well, then hopefully hopefully that will make a difference to it. So Andrew and your fat fingers, eh? Now what I'm hoping is that this won't make a difference to whatever I believe stuff is supposed to catch on these to turn it round, and I'm hoping that that's not going to prevent the mechanism from turning, but I have to say I'm not 100% sure that will be the case. Let's get another pair of tweezers to have a pull of getting this tighter. Oh, they're cutters, not tweezers, aren't they? It's probably not a good idea. Tweezers. Don't think this is going to work. I can't get it. Not sure that's going to do anything. As a matter of fact, I don't think it is. We'll abandon that for the time being. And we'll just, on a wing and a prayer, I have tightened it up. I've taken one link out of it. It does seem a lot more solid. It's shifting a little bit, but I don't think I'd be able to get another link out of it and get it on, to be frank. It was difficult getting this on now, so I'm gonna call that quits for the time being. So then, back to making this chassis up. Now if you recall, we've done this end, and I didn't have a flat girder, but I've gone and got a flat girder from my set down at the office, because yes, I have a set at home and I have a 10 set at the office as well, because I'm well endowed in that manner. Right, need a 12-inch angle girder as well, bear with me. There's the angle girder to go with that. And looking, I'm also going to need 2 more of those and 2 5s. Well, if I've got 2 more of those corner six, let's get the 2 5s out first of all. I'm sure I have 2 more of those, but there's 2 of them. Yes, indeed. Short note. So that's all I need to make this up. Just look at this. First of all, let's fix this to the outside then. It isn't quite as nice and plated, but it's still going to do a job, and it's going to be eventually, I think, covered over by plates inside, so it doesn't really matter. So that's through that, and then this attaches to this as well, so here we go. Nice to be getting the spanners moving again. I was at Sheffield Meccano Guild meeting over the weekend on Saturday. I don't know if anybody's watching this who was there, but if I met you there, then hello. Glad that you're watching. It was very nice to see some people and put faces to names that I've seen on the internet and whatnot. And if at any point future meetings of any kind you see me, please feel free to come up and say hello. I'd love to say hello to anybody who's been watching. Next meeting I will be at the NEMS meeting at Beedale, for anybody who gets to that one. Not sure what date we're at now for that, but whenever that's done, I intend to be there. Now that the world is starting to spin somewhere a little bit more close to its normal way of doing things, at least in the UK. Let's just hope it carries on in that manner. Right, I've done that. So you're going to be there. We just need you to okay. So there we are, that's that one. Except no. Oh no, 5, so that one's 4, so yes, that will be right. So that's through there. Now, I'm getting flashy with me camera setup. I mean, it's only smartphones, but I've actually got 2 of them. So if this works, and I'm hoping it will do, you'll get 2 different angles of me. So when I've got an arm blocking a view or whatever from an angle, I should be able to give you a view from a different camera. So you're not just looking at my arm, you've got a different view on the Meccano. That's the idea anyway. Never having done any of this cameraman and lighting stuff before, I'm figuring it out as I go along, like most things, but hopefully a more polished, edited kind of view when we finish doing all this. Who knows? So provided we don't run out of pieces again, then that's not great, is it? That's me, that camera I talked about, that's it falling over. So yeah, maybe I'm not as good at this as I thought I might be. It's almost done. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but we'll see. That's that one. And then, you know, like that. So, 1, 2. And as I was saying, we'll do about an hour, provided that I've got the parts to get us that far. I should have. And we'll see where that's taking us to. What wonders await. Oh, come on. we go. That's you. Yeah, I've been a little bit quieter this week. I've not done my normal midweek videos, which I'm hoping to get out these on a weekly basis, doing this model, the long build, which this one is going to be, and the short build. They're hopefully being done on a Sunday, and then out sort of on the Monday, Tuesday. And then I'm hoping to do another couple of videos during the course of midweek as well, but didn't manage to do that this week. I don't have to do much to earn a living, but the bits that I do have to do came home last week and I had to spend a little bit of time doing that. So anyway, you've got me now back on track, hopefully. So do tell in the comments what part of the world you're watching me from. I will be curious as to whether I've got any audience outside of the UK. So yeah, there's a comment section for the video. Stick in it and tell me where you're watching from. There we go. These are fairly straightforward bits, and sometimes it's nice to just have some stuff where you know it's not going to be complicated. You can just bolt stuff together without having to think about it too hard, because certainly that turntable, me being a bear of little brain, it was challenge probably too strong, because there's more complicated stuff to do than that down the way, but well, it was harder than doing this, let's just put it like that. Although, you know, at Sheffield, looking at some of the marvellous machines that some of you guys had made, and you know, just generally speaking, looking at the Meccano marvels that people put together on the internet, I feel humbled. I really do. It was wow, some of the stuff that people put together is just amazing, and I'm sure this is baby's first steps to some people. That'll better. Although equally, to some people, I'm sure doing a set 10 model is a long way beyond the grasp in terms of parts or experience. Certainly not in terms of ability, it's just following instructions, and I'm sure most people out there could do it if they had a mind to. Which is why I've jumped into this, because I'm sure that eventually I will get it completed. It's just persistence and patience, and well, anybody who knows me well will tell you that I'm not particularly short in those regards. Here we are. Major thanks to those of you who do watch this all the way through, because you know, when I started doing this, I wasn't sure that anybody at all would want to watch this all the way through, but so far at least it seems that there is an audience for this, and well, great. I think we are to a certain extent making history, because I'm not aware there's anything quite like this on YouTube. You know, there's plenty of videos of set 10 models and the like that have been completed, but doing a build real time, which is effectively what we're doing, you know, you can see every nut and bolt going in, that's something that I think is a bit of a first, and by watching it you're part of it, very much so. So that I think gets us to the first part of the chassis done. There, right. So the turntable support D2. I'll tell you what, let's just get a little bit of organisation going. You can go in bin because you were useless. That's the bit of link that I took out before. I'm going to move you to one spot there. That's the instructions that I'm finished with. This is the instructions that I'm reading right at the moment. I want drawing D2. That's you. And let's peek the photos out. See if I can figure out which one I'm supposed to be on now. And the rest of it, for the time being, you can go over there. So, that's the chassis. A 5.5 inch angle. So we're on to angle girders. Let's get angle girders out. A supply of angle girders. Go down to here. Oh bloody hell, that's heavy. Oh, and that's strips, not angle girders. Let's get angle girders out there. See what we need. Ruler, a 5.5 inch angle girder, and whatever I get I need 2 of, because I've got to do it in a similar way. Oh no, 2 double thickness 5.5 inch strips. 5.5 inch angle girder, 12.5 inch angle girder, below both 12.5 inch angle girders. So, hang on a second before we get too carried away. Let's move this out of the way. Let's just refer to some drawings. I'm not sure I'm making a totally new thing here, if it's going on that chassis. I think it's going on the chassis. Refer to drawings. That's the chassis there, yeah? That's what you've got. There, so... Right, if I mention the body below both 12.5 inch angle girders, 8 holes from one end, 1 holes down towards hole 9. 8 holes from one end. 8, that's there though. So I mean, like that. Have we got a view above at all? That would make sense, because that's the right width to go across like that. Now then, yes. I'm saying yes. I think yes. This is going to be there. So, like that. So that's like that. Now you've got your body below both 12.5 inch angle girders, because that, I would suggest, bear with me chaps, I'm just trying to figure this out as we go. Both 12.5 inch angle girders, 8 holes from one end, 1 holes down and towards hole 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8's there, so that's there. So that would suggest like that, perhaps. That would be below. Does that fit in with what I'm seeing there? Not really. Because that's showing that fitted up. I mean, below's at... because that is that turned up like that? Yes, that I said that's the aha. So yeah, that's what was confusing me. You need to have it this way up to get the right perspective on it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. There's about 8 holes from one end, long holes down and towards hole number 9. On the drawing that tells me any better how that's working. Yes, that's that, I'm guessing. So cool. This is the thing, and it's, I have to say, I'm quite sure I couldn't explain these ways to do it any more clearly. It's an art form writing these instructions, I'm sure. And Tony's, to be fair, are really good, and certainly, you know, you get there eventually. Pictures help though. Without pictures I would have been struggling to figure that out. If you're somebody who writes instructions, then, you know, pictures are indeed worth 1,000 words. The words are good as well though. Just get these on slackly and then we'll tighten up. So that's that. Just bear with me, just doing some camera work for a second. Right, 3.5 inch angle gear is bolted in here. 3.5 inch, that's a 7 hole, I do believe. There we go, 3.5 inch. And I should know these distances, but I know how long each one is, but I always feel the need to measure it to be sure. But it's centrally above this by its long holes with its upward flange towards hole number 7. I'll look at a picture, see if I can figure out about that, because that's not immediately. Bolted centrally above this by its long. Ah, right, bolted centrally above this, right, like that, by its long holes with its upward flange towards hole 7. So above it, centrally, flange towards. I think. I would be lying if I didn't say there's a certain amount of guesswork going on, but I'm guessing that's that one there. So yeah, no, that makes sense. We're good. We're good to go again. Although I'm quite sure that at some point, because it's always the case, you hit a point where you realise that you're being asked to put stuff together and it's just not going to work because you've misinterpreted some of the instructions. And all you can hope is that at that point you can rectify your mistake without having to do too much taking apart. Well, that always seems to be the way with me anyway. But I think we've got this one right so far anyway. Imagine you always think you've got it right so far, otherwise you'd be doing it different, wouldn't you? So you think you've got it right till you find out you've got it wrong. Which is a metaphor for life, not just Meccano, I guess. How long do you think it'll take me to do this then? if we're doing, you sort of getting an idea of the pace that I work at, and there's 14 pages like this. Going to do an hour a week. Yeah, we're still going to be here 2 years from now, or my guess, to be honest with you, is that it'll take about 6 months. That would be my best guess, on the basis of half a page of time would seem a reasonable guess. 28 pages is just over 6. Let's say 7 months to give us a little bit of wiggle room in there. So where are we now? We're at the beginning of August. It's at least 5 months in here. Maybe we'll have a completed model somewhere around the end of February 22. Who knows? But that's the likely possibility, I would guess. Right. The other end is built in a similar way, but with 2 double thickness 5.5 inch strips replacing the 5.5 inch angle girder, which I'm going to guess Tony does like that because he hasn't got the because he builds them in the confines of a set 10 and possibly doesn't have sufficient girders to do it. But okay, we'll do what we're told. So 1, 2, 3. So 2 plus you. Why are you using 2, Tony? 2 double thickness 5.5 inch strips. I'll get a double thickness. Maybe it's just to give it a little bit extra bracing, because the thickness will be will be thicker than the angle girder, but you haven't got the bracing strength of the flange. So I'm guessing it's to replace that. We're going for that. Anyway, there's 2. So we're going across there. Forgive me, I keep on forgetting and putting this way you can't see it, but hopefully, there we go. I'm doing it again, but I need to get it so I can hold it. There we go. Let's get the first ones on like that. I'm going to guess that if you're watching all this way through this video, that you're probably keen enough on my stuff that you've already subscribed. But, you know, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, well, why don't you go and take care of that now, eh? Just tap the subscribe button and that'd be massively appreciated. Want another one of those. See, when you feed it out the first time round, it's easier thereafter. Come on. Life is made so much easier by having hex nuts. I just wouldn't build a model without them nowadays. Well, maybe something that I'm really wanting to build in a period manner, but there isn't really many like that. I'm not so fussed about sticking to period. That what we'll do is we'll just slacken that off and straighten it up. I'm going to do that so the lines along there like that, and if we need to adjust later on we will do, but straight along there. So that's that. Fit the bearing into this recess with the 1/8 and 1/8 inch bolts. So here's the bearing into this recess. Just in the angle gears for a stress-free fit so as not to distort the circular gird. So, can you? Because there's your 1 1/8. Should that have been 1 1/8 and I've missed it? Although that's not. I'm just wondering, looking at this, have I put in the right holes? Well, I think I have, because we're not going to have a. This isn't going to be possible, Tony. Is it? We're not at right angles. Forgive me whilst I'm doing it. This doesn't rotate on its own. No. But if that's going through that, then that can't be. That's got. Just bear with me whilst I look at some drawings and see where I've made a bollocks of it, because this doesn't immediately make a right lot of sense. That is D1. If I look down on top of there, like that, all those drawings. That is suggesting that maybe those should all be 1 over. Is that going to be the case of it? But even then, you wouldn't have a. Even then, you still wouldn't have it at right angles. If these are the locating pins for this. Let's just see if the fitting. You do have flashes, maybe the fitting. Before I go and start doing it, will it locate just with these where they are before I start going and wasting a lot of time? Because those two will, they won't. But I'm not convinced if I turn this lot around they would do. And that's not straight. Slight pause on figuring out this out. Let's just have a looking from above on this. 4, they're in the right places. I'm not sure about it. These clearly should be 1 over and maybe a little bit down, but what gets them down? That's come through. Yeah, there, so that's that. That's right angles across there. That's at a crosswise. So yeah, he should be up there and he should be across there. We should be all across 1, but to be frank, it shouldn't make that much difference. Because you're still going to be, I mean, that fits in that recess. Is that clean? They should be in those. I'm just looking at the. Right, have I made a bollocks of it? Should that be a longer one? Or 1 1/8 inch box space with a collar using square nuts. So that needs to be a longer one for a start. So that's not long enough. So I need to replace that with a longer one. got 1 1/8. Do I need a longer one still? No, it's one of the longest ones. So 1 1/8. Well, let's first of all replace these, and that way at least we're no, that's not the reason for the fault, because just looking at this drawing, where's the bloody drawing then? Started to lose patience, Andrew, don't do that. Right, I don't know if you can see, but if you look here, I've got that there, when that should be blank and it should actually be in there. So what we'll do, so it don't all fall apart, what we'll do is put new ones in and then pull the old ones out after the new ones are in, because I really don't want all these ball bearings coming out. And then we'll see if that means that I can fit into the into this recess correctly down the line there. So there's probably something obvious here that I'm missing, I'm pretty sure, but yeah, well, this won't take me that long to do. So if I put these in first and then take the ones out after I've done it, then hopefully we don't get ball bearings everywhere, because that wouldn't be good. Of course, the thing now is going to be getting into some of these, because like that's not the easiest segment to get yourself into. Ay. Stupid bugger, Andrew. You know what? This is what I'm talking about. You think you've done it right, but then you've got to come back and go at it again. Let's pull this out of here, and that way I can at least get back to those easier. Is it just me who makes a bugger of it and has to go back to it again later on? So, see, what I'm going to do, doing it where the camera can see me, is I'm going to pull this structure off so I can get access to the circular girders easier. But it's easier said than done. These are that's that out. That out. They're magnetic, that helps. That should then come out of there. I don't think there's what else. And then you start to get through, like that's in the way, and oh dearie me, he said, substituting that for swearing. This is where patience comes into it, because there we go, that's that out, and then there we go. So I'll just have to look back and see where that washer was supposed to go when we come to it. So, right, back to you. As So you're correct. So let's just put these into everywhere, one into each one, and then we'll take out the ones that don't want to be there. And I think what we'll do is we'll do this, we'll build that back up, and I'm not quite sure if this is going to make any difference at all, if it's just a futile exercise. But we'll build this back up and then we'll see again if it makes any difference into the way it fits in, because I'm not convinced it will do, but we'll take a look. That's that. Yeah, well. Don't need to leave those in. I mean, clearly, I know enough people have completed this that, you know, it's me who's being thick, not the instructions that aren't there, so. So that's through. So now we've got the new four that are now, we know, in the correct positions in. Oh, we'll have when I've tightened this up. So then we start to take the old ones out, which is just, yeah. So that stays in. Does it? Yes, I've just. That stays in, yes. Yeah. And we've managed to do it without all the ball bearings falling out all over the place, which, you know, good. Go back in there. You can go back in there. You know, as fixing faults go, this has actually gone reasonably easily. We've not got too many pages after ourselves, and I don't think we've got to do too much taking apart to get to this point. But as I say, whether it actually solves the problem, who knows? If anybody's watching this who's actually done the build and you're sort of screaming at the screen, Andrew, you stupid bugger, it's got nothing to do with that, well, stick it in a comment as to what I should be doing instead. So I never said when you were watching these videos you would see expertise. You're seeing learning as we go along. But hey, if people are watching this who weren't sure if they were able to do it, maybe will give you a little bit of confidence that, you know, if eventually I can get this done, then so could you have done. Right, so now we should be at the point where those bolts are in the right place, and just let's have a trial fit of those into this. I'm still not seeing really how that will help any. Because the thing about it is that's going to be like that, and it doesn't go square. This is what I'm not getting. I'm not getting how this is supposed to rotate around this, because they're stopping in your rotation. They shouldn't. No, they've gone through. I mean, put it up like that and you've got 1, 2. Well, that's it, that one won't go in. And if it does that, you could probably make an argument to get that one in. Just about. But yeah. Struggling. 1 second. That's it. 1 second. That's at right angles. And well, the thing about it is can you do on that? Maybe because that's on flanges, although that's through a hole. I don't think there's a lot of variation allowed in that. These are supposed to be like locating bolts, and that's that. And that's that. But then these two are just not going through. So I'm still not 100% sure what I'm missing. Fit edge of this recess with the one rest free fit. So these should adjust. I'm not quite sure how. Right, they are. What if these are, let's start with those. Let's just say we want those straight across. Right, so them both to go in, and that there, like that. Oh, so nearly. Now that's closer to a fitting. We've got 3 in, and that. And that, they're all in. But then this is out. And it doesn't rotate, it's fixed. Once you've got it. So is something going to rotate on top of here? Because if I then put that on, that's going to be like that across there. And the thing is, that's supposed to rotate. Clearly it's not going to, that's fixed in place. So is something going to be on top of there too? Have I made up this ball bearing right? Have I buggered this up? Should these 2 angle girders, should they rotate from each other? Because, oh, hang on a second, I wonder. It's this that rotates, isn't it? And it's struggling to do so. Is there a reason why that won't rotate? No. That rotates. This in a circle rotates with that on. But to be frank, it is so tight at the moment. If I just slacken it off, just slacken each one, I think I'm figuring this out. Just really gently slackening each one because I don't want them all to spring off, but that gives a little bit of leeway. And then he says, that's not, yes! It's figuring it out now, figuring it out. It's the inner bit that rotates, which I know is blindingly obvious if I'd have thought about it, but hey ho, we're getting there now. We are getting there now. Stupid. And maybe, you know, should there have been a collar there? I wonder if there should have been a washer there just to 2 and 6. But I thought, yeah, roundabouts 2 and 6. I also think there should be something there. Right, but now it'll straighten it up when I've got these attached, so that's alright, yeah. They are, albeit not perfectly, they're fitting in there. Mark one button hole position and remove the bearing. What are you marking? Bolt and hole position. Well, so I've got, if you can see, I've got those into the recesses there, so that fits. When I reattach this, which I will do, then now that I've got this, to be frank, it probably doesn't really matter, does it? Because it swivels. Yeah. So it's got a bit like that, because otherwise I've got a feeling I didn't need to do all that I've just done, but because it would have worked with the other, but yeah, so that goes on there, but I've got to fit those back in again now. So, right. I'm going to get with this out of here because it's going to be a swine. But I'm glad I figured out how that rotates, because I have to say I was wondering. And really it's blindingly obvious when you think about it, but dog ears. And now getting this to fit those nuts in is going to be a challenge. Hooray. There's a way to do this. Bugger. I wonder if I'm going to end up taking this to pieces and getting hard to get these in, because I'm not. I'm definitely not pulling the thing up again, so if I come at it from come on, you bloody thing. Excuse me. Yes. There we go. go, that's that. This is like surgery, isn't it? Scalpels and forceps and... Don't think you can get a great view of what I'm doing here because it's right in the workings of this, which is part of the reason why it's difficult. There we go. In you go. That's 2. Down. It wouldn't be fun if it was easy. It wouldn't be an accomplishment at the end if you hadn't had to sweat for it. Oh, that's what I'm telling myself anyway. That needs to be... That's where the... that goes on. Where did I put that contract? There's another contract that needs to go on there. Where did I put that contract? There we put the contract, there we go. I'll tell you what, the reason why I'm not putting it back on as yet is to get just a little bit more space into there so that can wait till I've done that. Just this one left to put into attaches back on. I really am remarkably stupid. I was thinking that was seized up. It wasn't any such thing. Right, there we are. Finally. Back to it. I've got a feeling this last half hour has been a exercise in futility, and if I'd have figured out the way that that was supposed to rotate, it probably wouldn't have mattered that it was the other way around. Although I did have one bolt that was not long enough, which I would have had to replace anyway, but at least I'm learning how the structure works better. There you go. You go in there. It's not very tight. Try again.
Sorry I'm late.
Mm-hmm. There you go. That's tightened on. Yeah, I'm doing a video, dear.
Huh?
I'm on video.
You're on the video?
I'm making a video.
Oh, you're making a video, sorry. I did send you a text.
There we go, that's back on. They're all in. And as we've seen, that does fix in. And now that we've figured out how it works, see, look, the turntable does rotate. I mean, I'm wondering if I've got that too tight. The turntable does rotate. It does seem very tight. Just back it up, I have to turn on each one. If give it a little bit of slack. I want to do it sufficient to give it slack, but not so much that all these bloody ball bearings come flying all over the place. There we go. I wonder if that just needs a... Oh, the turntable works. Let's just get some WD-40 in there. Silicon based WD-40, see if that makes any odds to it. Spinning like a good one. I mean, it's not exactly free and easy, but it is spinning. I wonder if it is still a little tight. But I don't want to take it any further. I don't want to. Alright. And I'll put some in from this angle as well. There we go. Right, I've got a ball bearing that's turning. And I think at that, we'll leave it at that. We've got down to there. So, yeah, that's what we're calling quits for today. See you next time round. Thanks for joining me.